Hey,
It's going.
everybody. Why does it have a one like it's been recording? Is it picking up from last time?
I don't think so because I deleted all of our other ones.
Well, then,
Anyways,
anyway, so
hey
here we
guys,
go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon, here with a very intoxicated.
I'm not that intoxicated. Ashley Oracle, I only had three, maybe four seltzers. Sorry.
So,
On
anyway,
vacation, I'm allowed.
so today's episode was continuing from last week's episode. It had some technical difficulties, so we had to stop that.
No, carry on. You're fine.
So
Good.
so we're just continuing from last week. I don't even remember what the hell story I left off on. So
I don't
this
know. You were telling a story though.
yeah, so I was telling the story. And guys, check out the Silver Witch and all those great deals. Just got on there, the Silver Witch and Loot by Lottie. You guys can go on and check her out. And oh, by the way, if you type in Lucky Loot, you guys
You're
get
like,
10% off. What? Well, looks like yeah, it looks like that's it. So anyway, Loot by Lottie, go ahead and check that out. And if you guys type in the promo code Lucky Loot, you guys can get 10% off your first purchase. So what? What's the matter? What?
on my end, I was blinking out, so I thought I went away. Did
Oh
I stay on?
no, you were like this. So yeah, you froze, but it's fine. You're back. So anyway, also a big announcement, guys. We have some stuff in the works. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be amazing. You guys will
Stage.
like it. I hope. Ooh, just gonna close that curtain. It's not ready. Um,
Oh, sorry.
but it's gonna be pretty extreme and it's gonna be pretty paranormal. So
It's gonna be huge.
gonna be huge. Um, so yeah, so pretty
Big name.
extreme,
Big
pretty
name.
pretty paranormal. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, we're gonna have all about ghosts, man. Yeah, yeah, I said
I
ghost
thought
man.
I was intoxicated. Are you
No, no,
intoxicated too?
no, not at all. I'm just dropping hints, and I think
Oh,
they're so well placed that I don't think you're catching them at all.
no, I'm
so,
not.
so anyway, yeah. So some big
I
stuff.
just already know what's going on, so it's fine.
So some pretty pretty big stuff coming along. So you guys just stay tuned, and you guys will kind of see what's going along, what happens in this magical realm of what is this channel? Magic, Murder, and Mayhem. I haven't said that in a
Yeah.
long time. Anyways, all right, so let's continue. Last week, where we left off, um, you told a story about how your mother says you astral projected.
Oh, yeah. And then you were gonna start telling a story, and then that was when we had to say, bye, guys. See you next week.
See you next week. Too classified. It was too good. You guys don't deserve it. So,
No, that's not it at all.
so
But you can believe his lies.
yeah, you can believe. So, all right. So, like I
No.
said, there was a lot of stories out. There was a lot of stories out there about the astral plane and how there was different levels to where you're at. You know, some people will land in the first plane, which is basically you are see through and you're kind of like walking around and yeah, and you're see
I
through
like
and you
your little hand motions. See
you
through.
kind of
Can you do that one more time?
what a
Thanks.
great country. So
Wow.
wow, what a so anyway, so a story was that this person lays down to go to bed, right? They're going to bed, and then all of a sudden they can hear someone like talking to them, and they can't make out what's going on, and they think they're suffering through sleep paralysis. So they're trying like so hard to move because for those of you that have experienced sleep paralysis, a lot of people say that one of the key things is to force one of your body parts to move, and then it pulls you out. So for
If
those
you
of
can.
if you can, for those of you that struggled in the past, like fuck, like I can't move, I'm not strong enough. I'm gonna give you some advice. Okay, if you're not strong enough to move your arms or your legs, one of the things you can do is try to move your jaw because the jaw muscles are so strong. And all you need to do is just either open your mouth a little bit or shut it, and that should be enough to pull you out. So,
That makes sense.
so, so in this
I would think
story,
wiggling a toe,
yeah, wiggling a toe, I get,
because it's so easy.
yeah, it's easy, but sometimes you just need something like right away. It's faster if you like, or you know what I mean. So, so anyway, so this person, right? They're thinking they're suffering through sleep paralysis and they're kind of struggling, and finally they were able to sit up, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Finally I'm up, I'm out of this. But then they realized that there was someone standing in the closet, you know, and they can't see the shape, they can't see like it has no face, it has like no visible features. It looks kind of wavy.
Like a shadow?
Yeah, kind of. But it's instead of it being like kind of solid, like it was kind of like waving around, so like it wasn't staying in one spot. So
Oh, there.
all they can see is this figure was kind of talking to them like in their mind, if that makes any sense. So this
Yeah.
thing was talking and he can hear it, and it was basically telling him like, "Hey, follow me." And then so he stands up and he's like, "Who the hell is this person and why are they in my house? What's going on? Am I dreaming?" So they stand up and they realize that when they stood up, it wasn't like a oh, like when you're doing that, it was more like instant, like boom. And then they're like, okay, what the hell was that? And
Hmm.
they happen to look back and they can see their unconscious body just laying there on the bed, and they're like, this is a really trippy dream. So they end up following this thing, like, all right, let's which makes no
Like what
like
we said in the last episode, stop following things.
yeah, like stop following shit. So
Like, why do you guys have to be like white girls in murder movies and follow things? Just stop.
or get a firearm, in
That
horror
too.
movies. Yeah, that too. How many horror movies would just end just like that if somebody had a gun? Anyway, so
Every single one.
every single one. So so then this person is following this thing because it's like thumbed up, follow me. So he says that he had a compulsion to kind of follow this thing, like holy shit, like I'm yanning. I'm sorry guys. So this thing
I
shoots
made him
off.
record an hour later. Forgive him.
So shot in a certain direction, just like boom, and this person's like, I can never catch up to this. So he's like, well, maybe, and then ended up like like zooming behind it. He says now they're following. He's following this thing. So he begins to notice that thing is like
Oh,
zipping by, like in between buildings, like going all over the place.
stop
And then
following it.
eventually he realized this thing is trying to lead me as far away from my body as possible. So he says that, what was that?
Duh.
So immediately he says, did a 180 and took off running back the same direction. He can hear this thing kind of like trying to tell him, like, no, come back, trying to call him back. So he says he ran back and he didn't know how he did it, but he was able to like find his way back home. So he found his way back home, found like this, like almost looked like a crack in the wall, he said, and he kind of like went through it, and it was his closet. So he says went in, and then he noticed that there was like five shadow figures all surrounding his body while he was unconscious. They were all just like standing around him.
Ugh.
And so he says that his instinct was to like jump into his body. So he says he just like jumped, took off, and then jumped into his own body. He says immediately he sits up and he's like, "What the hell?" He's sweating. He
Oh God.
but here's what's crazy. He says that before he dove in, one of the shadow figures that you want to call it kind of reached up and said grabbed his arm, and he says that he kind of like shrugged him off like mid. So he says that he dove back into his body and he sits up,
Ugh.
and then all of a sudden, said he had a red handprint on his arm when he woke up. Said he could feel
Oh,
like
gross.
it was hot, like got a burn. And then he's like, "What the hell?" And then ends up, freaked out, like,
Oh,
"Damn, that was a one hell of a shitty dream," or this was whatever he said. So ended up just kind of like looking at his arm and it had like a handprint, and
no.
and it gets creepier. So he says that when he was analyzing the handprint, it it looked like like too skinny to be like human, or you know what I mean. It was like skinny, like little lines, like, and then you could see the thumb, but it was like really thin, almost
Stop.
like a skeleton grabbed them almost. So
Ew, gross.
so he says that every once in a while, when he starts to fall asleep, ooh, when he starts to fall asleep, he says that he can hear a voice, as how when you're falling asleep and you begin to think about dumb shit, and you're like, damn, I started to fall asleep. Like you start thinking about stuff that make no sense. You know what?
I think that's just you.
Uh,
I'm just kidding.
that's just me. So
I
you
would
just
think
like
about all the shit I could have gotten done during the day,
just
but
stupid shit. But it like I don't mean stupid
sorry.
like it's dumb. I mean it's more stupid like it didn't make sense. Like, why am I thinking about this? This is weird. And then you realize like I think I was dozing off. And that's what I started thinking about. So anyway, so he says that when he's in that state where he's beginning to fall asleep, he said he can hear a voice kind of saying like we should go hang out again, or you should follow me again, or come to me, or whatever it is.
I would say no.
Yeah, well, so so that's his experience. So that's one story. Do you-
That's creepy. I don't. So the handprint makes me feel like it's more of an evil thing rather than an.
Is
You know
that too
what I
bright?
mean? You kind of look like you have a flashlight on your face, like you're trying to be that one guy from Disney that does the flashlight thing. Are you afraid of the dark guy?
Yeah, you do it with a candle. You're like, what? Your fucking beard
Yeah.
catches fire. Um, um,
It is a little bright.
Oh, jeez.
Makes you look really white.
Well, there's that. Um,
But anyways, so the handprint thing though, I don't feel like any, I don't want to say normal spirit because there's no normal spirit, but like a spirit that doesn't have ill intentions and anything in the astral plane, I don't feel like anything like that is going to leave a handprint. I feel like that's more of a negative, more,
Something more potent, more shadow than spirit.
yeah, that doesn't feel right.
Huh. That's yeah, that's interesting because I was when I listened to that story, that's what something that was really interesting to me is like, okay, you know, one thing is somebody making contact with you in the astral plane, right? Like somebody actually
Yeah.
reaching out and grabbing you. Another thing is something being able to physically like interact with you to where like you can
And
feel it
hurt you.
and hurt you, you know. So damn, it almost makes me think like what if when you see a shadow figure or a shadow being like in your house, how much of that do you think it could be, you know, something in the astral
Mhm.
plane like trying to come forward?
I think it depends.
And also, not everybody can see a shadow figure. So I wonder if it's has something to do with, you know what I mean? It's like when you're with a group of
Yeah.
people and you see something like run right past, like right in front of you, and you could be
hmm
having like it just looks like something dark just runs by super fast. and you could be talking to people, and you guys are looking at each other. So whatever it was went past, and you're like, "Whoa, did you see that?" And they're like, "No, what are you talking about?"
I almost feel like you have to be, I don't want to say a skilled astral projector because I don't feel like anybody is that skilled in it or mastered in it, kind of like with paranormal stuff. Like nobody's a master and expert in the paranormal field.
They're just more
But
experienced.
I feel like you're not going to bring anything back with you unless you mean to.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
Yeah, so if you're, like, on the astral plane and you're like, "You know what? I think, that you know what? You know how there's people out there that always seem like there's something negative around them, or no matter where they
Mm-hmm.
go, some people just feel, like, gloomy." Do you think that they have they're bringing something forward, or something is just following around them and uses
Yeah,
them? Like,
because it's their intentions. If you're not putting out positive intentions and you're only putting out that negative, that's all you're going to bring in.
yeah. So, there's
You're not
always
going to bring anything positive in if you're a freaking negative Nancy.
yeah, there's always because there always seems those kinda people that, um all they wanna do is just bring down a conversation. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, it be like, "Oh,
Hmm.
fucking Disneyland is amazing this type of year," and it's like, 5 people died last year. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that person, uh, and then you know what I'm trying but you know what I'm trying to say. There's always that person that's always
I
like,
just did that to somebody.
"What?"
I know someone that just went to Disneyland this past week
Did they say
and
that?
said
Were
the
they
exact same thing. I was like, people died on that ride, right?
Yeah, like,
Moving on.
yeah, but yeah, I
Oh shit.
but yeah, it is one of those things where, you know, damn, how do I even say it? So these people are either very negative by nature, or maybe whatever's around them is just influencing them to be so negative. You know what I'm trying like to be negative and be gloomy, because it seems like a lot of these entities, they feed off of negativity. They feed off of anger, sadness, bitterness. And what if they're like, bring up something super fucked up? And then they say it like, when I was a child, my uncle, what I'm trying to say, and ruins the
Can I be
conversation.
a bitch for a second?
The what?
Can I be a bitch for a second?
Sure.
Okay. I think it takes a very, very weak person to allow something negative like that just to waltz in. You are very weak. You are obviously already negative. Even if you don't project it, that's what you're feeling. So I think it takes a very weak person to allow
To
something like
allow,
that to happen, in all honesty.
yeah, to allow something to control you like that.
Exactly. So
Like,
if you can
not
allow that,
me.
you need to work on yourself.
Yeah, and there's those people that, well, what is that old saying? It's like, misery loves company, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah, and so I just think that, you know, like when you see somebody and they're such a dick, like well,
Such
yeah, like like they're a dick or they're a bitch, whatever you want to say. I always think like, what happened to you? You know what I'm trying to say?
exactly.
Like,
Who my favorite new trending saying right now, who hurt you? Like,
yeah.
why are you like this? Who hurt you to make you be like this?
Well, there is that other saying that says hurt people, right?
Yeah, that's true too.
So,
Well, it's just like you look back on like this is kind of getting off the subject, but not really. But like past hauntings. So let's take Amityville Horror for example. What's his face? Ronald DeFeo. They have said there are there is a medical history that he was not a very mentally stable person. So not saying that he wasn't a strong person. I'm sure he had his moments, but if you're not mentally stable, then I feel like you're pretty weak.
So
And so you're going to easily allow negative things into your
pre
vibe, I guess. Is that the right
yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Kind of like when you have somebody that's gonna like, okay, so in the self-defense world, in the self-defense world, one of the one of the things that I used to teach is, walk with confidence,
word? Hmm.
even if you're not confident, train it, train to look
Yeah.
confident, like chest out, shoulders back, chin up, and then just walk, walk.
Projects that
Yeah.
image.
Yeah, you're that way when a person that's, gonna victimize somebody and they have to pick a victim, they look at that person, they're like, this person is really comfortable, so either they know something or they have a firearm or they're a
Mm-hmm.
police officer and like they're
They know
undercover cops, like
self-defense. They're
just
gonna,
waiting, just something. So they're like,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna pick somebody else. Who am I gonna pick? The person that's kind of like, oh, and or looking at their phone and not paying attention. So I wonder if like the negative, yeah, um, if the person that seems that to the paranormal, like to the shadow being, they're like, this is the person I'm gonna latch on to, you know. So
I can
back to
see
the astral projection nightmare thing. Um, there seems to be like when there's people that and are telling a story like this happened to me. I was going. A lot of these stories are, you know, I was going through a tough time. I was
that. Hmm.
tired. Somebody broke up with me. My parents got divorced. I was unhappy in life. So I wonder if when they accidentally astral project, they're carrying that negativity, they're carrying that sadness, that
Oh,
anger.
yeah.
So whatever is around, they almost see it like almost like a buffet, right? They're like, okay,
Hmm.
this person just reeks of negativity and
Yeah.
they're vulnerable, right? So
Yeah. Very.
so they're vulnerable. So here's an exercise that I wish, that I would practice what I preach. It's hard, So, um, when somebody is going through something, let's say, you know, their parents divorced, right, when they were young. So and they carry and they're like, "Damn, I think I might have done something." You know what I'm trying to say? Like maybe if I
Yes.
was
I
or
know.
I should have. One of the things that I like to tell people is I want you to pick up a weight, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's 5 pounds, pick up a damn cinder block, doesn't matter what it is, pick up something that's slightly heavy. Okay?
Cinderblock is only slightly heavy. Are you fucking kidding?
Well, it doesn't matter, something with weight. So I want you
Go
to
on.
walk around, the yard, wherever, carrying this thing around. And think about why did you think that it was your fault? Like what's going on? What are you going through as you're carrying this weight, you're walking around, and then finally you tell yourself, you know what? Like, I can't control what happened. I can't control this. I can only deal with it. I can better myself, or it wasn't my fault. You look at these things. So then what you do is you drop that weight, set it down, and then walk around with these positive thoughts. And then you can kind of be like, okay, this burden, which I was carrying, is actually not my burden to carry. And putting a physical aspect of it and not just a mental aspect of it kind of helps out because it puts it in perspective. Like you're carrying around this weight and you're like, damn, my parents divorced when I was a kid. And then eventually you're like, you know what? They couldn't figure their shit out. This has nothing to do with me. They had, I was only a kid. I was only this. This was their problem. And then you drop that weight and then you realize that this is no longer my burden to carry. So I can just leave it alone, leave it behind.
Therapy sessions with Econ.
So, yeah,
That
um,
should be in short.
yeah, no, it'd be awful. I give the worst advice. Um, but anyway, so back to astral projection. is these people will carry, this type of burden. It doesn't matter what it is. A lot of them is resentment and all that kind of stuff. So then they get to
Hmm.
the astral plane and they're carrying all this shit. It's almost like they're carrying glow sticks in a dark place. And these entities are like, I can feed off of this fucking person. Or, look, guys, I, we can feed off of this person for a while. So then they cling. And that's when the nightmare begins.
Hmm.
Because a person that, and I'm gonna say this, and I may be completely wrong, but a
I'll tell
person.
you.
Oh, okay. So a person that is inexperienced in spiritual things or things like astral projection or all that kind of stuff, if they're experienced in it, they know that, like, okay, I'm about to do this, so I better kind of like cleanse myself. Like, okay, take a deep breath.
Hmm.
Let's relax. Let's do this. They're not going to take all this shit with them because they don't want to be a magnet. They don't want to, you know what I'm trying to say? So they
Yeah.
kind of like understand. And in other, so if you believe that in the astral plane, there's different levels, the lowest level, some people believe is where all these, or low vibration, is where all the dark shit hangs out. Right. So,
That makes sense though, if you think about it.
yeah. So imagine if you're over there, you know, with this weight, with this negativity, something weighing you down, and then you go to the astral plane, you can't get very high like at the astral plane because you have all this shit that's weighing you down. So of course you're gonna be in the lower level with all the negativity instead of being, you know, instead of being with, I don't even want to say the enlightened, but I want to say with more people that are out, because you can communicate in the astral plane with somebody. It's
Yeah,
not
you can.
verbal, it's more.
It's more of an energy exchange.
Yeah, you're exchanging that energy with each other,
Yeah.
and if you're, seeking to grow or to strengthen or to release, like, and you need somebody to kind of help you recycle that energy, if you're both, in the same wavelength and you're both trying to do the same thing, that
Hmm.
helps. You both help each other grow, you help each other do all these things. But if you're that person just carrying that negative shit, so what is that? Damn, I I had sorry, there's so much going through my head right now. So
No, you're good.
So
Keep
people that
going.
so people that are like-minded, or they're seeking to grow and you're in this astral plane, it's almost like you
Hmm.
do have like a light, but it's positive, and these people are like, "You know what? Let's go check out what this person has going on." So they may go like, "Hey
Yeah.
man, do you want to come with me, and then we could kind of figure shit out, like just hang out, feed off of each other, in a positive way."
Hmm.
Energy exchange, instead of, you having all this dark shit and then something negative. It's instead of saying like, let's energy exchange, it's like, I'm gonna feed off of you, you know,
Yeah.
and then
It's
I'm gonna
yeah, it's creepy.
I'm gonna feed off of you, and then I'm gonna be with you when you go back to your,
Hmm.
you're gonna carry all that shit that I took from you. I'm giving you negative shit. So now you're gloomy, you're darker,
Yep.
you're tired. And then now you have a sign on you that basically you have a kick me sign where all these other things that are around are kind of like, this is the guy, you know,
Hmm.
this is the guy. Which is why when you notice that when there's someone that's miserable, they just can't seem to climb out of that hole, and they want to make others miserable. It's like we were just talking about earlier, how these negative entities are kind of like, you should make this person miserable too, you know.
Well, and what's creepy about these negative entities is it's like it's like that one experience I had. So, oh, how did it go? I ended up in just like it was just a super dark plane. Didn't really recognize where I was. And there was that blue light behind that door. And I heard my grandpa's voice,
Hmm.
but I knew it wasn't him. And I knew not to go. And then I came back.
So
So the negative things can mimic
yeah.
people that you want them to be because this was I think it was like within weeks after he had passed away. And so I just kind of knew that no, there's no way.
Yeah, and of course
And
there's
that's the
sadness there.
scariest part. Yeah,
So
because you
you're
can get
sad.
stuck, you can get lost, you can get stuck. And so if you're inexperienced, I remember when I was first starting out, I was told, do not leave your house.
Yeah,
You stay in your house, you stay in your yard, you don't leave.
yeah,
And
stay
I think
close.
people really need to take that into account when it comes to astral projecting if you're just starting out. You need to stay close to your body.
You know what's interesting? What you just said was the that with your grandfather, like the voice, like come, come here. And this reminds me,
It was exactly the same.
there's a story that I heard where this person had lost their spouse, right?
Mhm.
Car accident, and it was so quick, and she said that it was just so sudden. She was still in shock. So, one day she's trying to sleep. She can't sleep. Finally, she's like, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do the dishes, whatever, because I can't. That bed is empty,
Yeah, do
and it's
something.
do something. So this person gets up and they realize that their body is still in the bed. So they've accidentally astral projected. So they leave and they can hear the husband being like, "Hey," So so she gets up and she's following this voice and she can't see him, but she can just hear him. Like, "Hey, come here," and
Oh
it's
no.
giving a direction. So she doesn't get too far. All of a sudden, she gets sucked back into her body. Like, holy shit! Like she wakes up and like I
Like
have to.
telling her to come back.
Yeah, but it's like I have to, and not taking the hint. Basically, um, I got to do this again because I have to find him because he's trying to talk to me.
Mhm.
So so
Ugh.
anyway, so starts taking classes, starts taking courses. These people are like, you need to take it easy and just wait a little bit, wait till you get a little bit more hit. It's like, nah, I don't give a shit, like I want to do this. So taking the books and watching the videos, and then doing
Sounds
it
like
again.
me.
Yeah, so did it
I
again.
don't care. I'm doing it.
I'm doing it anyway. So gets up, um, here's the voice again, like, honey, come on. So follows this
Oh
voice.
no.
So it's following this. So it's following this voice, and it's going. It's like, honey, come on, just a little
Oh, that
further,
hurts my heart.
and then following this thing, and then again sucked right back into the body. Wakes
Yeah,
like,
because
what the
she's
fuck?
not supposed to be following it.
So like, what the fuck? So she tries again. A couple days later, she tries it again, but she's
Mhm.
noticing that every single time she does it, she wakes up more and more tired. You know,
Oh, it's sucking her energy
so
out.
more and more tired, and
Yeah.
now she's grumpy. She has children, by the way. Children, doesn't have the patience, exhausted, right? Like, just fucking just leave me alone. Just tired, grumpy.
Trying
You
to
know,
take care of our kids, jerk. You left me with them.
Yeah. So, um, goes back to sleep, tries it again, and starts walking. Same voice, honey, come on. So she's like, I'm gonna find him.
This
I'm gonna catch
poor
up to him, and I'm gonna
girl.
ask him like, are you okay? Like all these damn questions, and then all of a
Oh.
sudden, this voice, this voice, well, not a voice, like energy. So like this energy comes in. It doesn't have a shape. She said it was just more like a ball, like just, and said, "Stop following it. That's not me." And then immediately, like sucked back into the body. So
He's like, quit.
yeah. So right back. So then ended up going to a medium, I believe, and doing that whole communication stuff. And the husband wants to come through and talk to her, and it's kind of like,
Oh.
I'm fine, I'm okay, don't do that again. Whatever it is, whatever it is, it's not me.
Oh, this poor girl.
So she ends up, doing it again. She's like, I gotta try to find out. So then does it again. Honey, come on, And this time she's like, instead of walking, I'm gonna sprint. So sprints towards the voice. So starts sprinting towards the voice, and notices that it's coming from this area. So, honey, whatever it is. So it gets close enough, and it's a goat. There's just a goat standing there, like. So then immediately she's like, "What is this?" So then runs back as
Oh
fast as she
no.
can, and she notices that there's something hovering above her body, just feet, like literally. The way she described it was like, in movies how vampires bite on your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally that. And then
Oh
jumped back
no.
in her body, woke up, and never did it again. You know,
That's terrifying because I feel like goats are kind of associated with
with the evil,
more of a
right?
demonic thing. You know what I mean? That's creepy. That's not okay.
Yeah. So,
Oh, no. I do like goats though.
but it's just one of those. It's just one of those things
It's just
where it is one of those things where these entities, they they know, like, when you're hurting, right?
yeah.
They know when you're hurting. They know when you're the most vulnerable. They know all these things, and they use it to the point where they don't give a fuck if you're, and they
Mhm.
want to feed off you, and they're gonna they're gonna do it. So that's why a lot of people that are they practice in astral projection, they will tell you, they'll be like, hey, look, stay close, don't
Yep.
follow anything, you know, almost like. And the beautiful thing is that they'll tell you things like, visualize, like, before you go out there, visualize almost as if you're like in a bubble, right?
Mhm.
Almost like there's a bubble like around you, you know. So and just think about that. Like, think about yourself in a bubble. Can you do that? Okay, when you go, visualize it. So then when you're out there, it's almost like it puts like a little shield around you. And I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think that it has anything to do with, like, nothing can punch you, but it's more like your energy is kind of like within this little bubble. So whatever's
It's
out
an
there,
intention thing.
yeah, so whatever's out there doesn't, like, pick up on it.
Mhm.
So it's just crazy because there's a lot of stories out there about these nightmarish events, because a lot of this stuff, it's very, it's horror, it's like a horror movie, right? So,
Yeah.
but then and then you start realizing, like, there's also a lot of people that do astral projection, and they have a very it's hard to say normal. What's normal, right?
Well,
It's very
what
simple.
they want out of it, I guess you could say. Because I
Yeah,
feel like astral projection is a way to escape.
yeah. It is a way.
So it's intentions. What does Ashlyn always say? It's all about your intentions.
So, like, yeah, what do you want to do? Like, what is this
Yes,
for?
exactly.
And if you're gonna do this, also have a lot of things in mind. Like, do you want to
Hmm.
interact with somebody? Do you have someone in mind you want to interact with? If you don't, you have control. You
Yeah,
can
close yourself off.
close yourself off. You know, and if you're having a hard time and you're using it to escape because you're going through a dark time, like, don't try it, because
No.
even if you're a person that
Mm-mm.
is very in tune, even if you're a person that knows what they're doing, you're not yourself when you're, like, riddled with emotion.
No, because you may think you have good intentions, but when you have those negative emotions or sad emotions or whatever they are, that's what you're putting out more than anything else.
Yeah,
Because there are
and
certain entities that are going to feel that. They're going to feed off of that and they're going to make it worse.
yeah, and then, damn, and it's one of those things where if you're miserable, and someone out there is being controlled by these, like, low level, low vibration entities, they'll
Hmm.
find you. All of a
Oh,
sudden
yeah, easy.
you all of a sudden you can get a text message from somebody, and they're like, "You know
Hmm.
what? come hang out with me, or I want to talk to you, or I want to talk to you on the phone, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm in such a bad mood. But all right, I'll humor you. And you get on the phone, or you visit this person, and you're there, and you're not in the mood, and this person is just being super negative, super dark, bitch, complaining, and you're like,
Hmm.
I feel a lot worse
Oh,
than like instead of you distracting me and like helping me feel better, I feel so much
you
worse.
just made me feel 10 times worse.
Exactly, and then that was the whole intention. Even if that person themselves,
Yeah,
even if that's not what they were intending to do, but that's what they're drawn to, because again,
exactly.
uh, they don't have that fortification, which is why when you look at somebody and that person is miserable, you know, a lot of the
It gets
times,
projected onto you.
yeah, they get, yeah, and only when you get away from them can you look back and you're like, holy shit, I
Hmm.
cannot believe I was around this person and allowed this person to be around me for so long. I didn't see it, and it was almost like as soon as you get away from them, whatever influence they had, it's
It
almost like
eases
you
off.
brush yourself off, and then you don't have that anymore. Like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, and for some people, it may take a while, but I mean, yeah,
Yeah, and
same thing.
and then once they're gone, I mean, when they leave your life, it's one of those things where it sucks because you're like, holy shit, like I cannot believe. But then when a little bit of time passes and you've had enough, it feels almost like that cinder block I talked about early in the show. You drop that cinder block, you're dropping that
Yep.
weight, and then you're like, holy shit, I feel so much better. You know,
Maybe I should have listened to myself sooner.
Y-
Hmm.
yeah, maybe, yeah. So you're like, fuck, like it's almost like you took the chain off of yourself.
The old shackles.
Yeah, exactly, the old shackles. So anyway, one more story, and then we gotta close up. Do you have one,
Oh,
or do you want?
no, I don't have any more. Do you?
Yeah, I have one more.
Okay, well, that's good. Go
Okay,
you.
so this person, you know, this person is they're in a place in their life where they don't know where they're going, they don't know what direction, they don't know any of these things. So what they end up doing is they start getting into spirituality, and they start messing with something called a Frank's box, right?
Why does
And
this not sound good?
so they start messing with something called a Frank's box, and they start talking to it, and it's talking back. You know,
Ew.
hey, come. So and they're saying
So
like,
is this like an old radio
so
type of thing?
so what it is it utilizes radio frequencies like radio stations to form words because you got to think there's hundreds of stations
Yeah.
talking at the same time, different channels, AM, FM. So it's almost like entities utilize all of these channels to form a sentence. Like
So it could
it's
be either AM or FM. It's just whatever
yeah,
comes
yeah,
through.
and then that sound
Okay.
that sound it makes, it's changing channels like going at such a fast rate. So
Okay.
so if you turn one on, right, and you're like, "Oh man, how are you doing today?" to no one, it's like it could pick up a weather station, like it's cold, you know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so like it's cold, and it picks up another channel today, you know. Waits for
Oh,
something to say
weird.
your name, like in some channel or something remotely close. Ash,
Hmm.
it's like like is how are you doing? It's cold today, Ash, and it's because it switched stations so quickly to form a sentence. So
Interesting.
So this person starts experimenting with this, right? And they're all like, "Damn, I'm really depressed. I wish that one thing you never do." So this thing, it's like, "You should try to find me," different things. And he's like, "Well,
No, don't.
where can I find you?" Astral projection, you know.
Mm.
So then this person's like, "What the hell is that?" So instead of them saying like, "Why would some," like instead of freaking out like, "I think something's trying to fuck with me," instead of doing that, what they do is like, I gotta find out what astral projection is. So
I
they
gotta
start
go
watching.
follow this person that I don't
I
even
gotta
know who they are, but I'm
I
gonna
gotta
go do it.
follow, and this thing is in its house. Like the Frank's box he's using is in his home. So this whole time, but living alone, is like, oh, where can I find you? Astral projection.
What happened to
So
people being taught don't talk to strangers?
I don't
Like,
know.
isn't this kind of the same thing? Like,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah, it definitely is.
stop following people you don't know.
So this person starts finding all these YouTube videos like astral project today, like all that kind of stuff. Which to me, it's like, don't do it that way because again, yeah. So so this person finds a video, right? Finds a video, and then they astral project. They like get pulled up, and then there's something in the room with them in this little astral area in this home,
Wonder
and
why.
yeah, so it's like, I've been waiting for you, and this is this person's story. They're like, it told me I was waiting for you, but its mouth wasn't moving because again, it's in the head, like the way they talk.
Hmm.
I've been waiting for you, like, like, oh, who are you? My name is this and that. I just want one thing from you, and it's like, what is that? Can I please just press my hand on your body? Like,
Are we getting into a succubus situation right now?
so that, well, it's not like, you know, can I please place my hand on your body? So
Okay,
he was
go
like,
on.
he's like, yeah, I guess there's no harm in that. So then this thing like slowly walks over and
I'm
puts its
sure he did
hand,
say that.
it's like, yeah, I'm gonna walk over this body. So walks over and it puts his hand like on the body, right? So it puts his hand on the body. He says that immediately when it did that, he said he felt exhausted. Like he said he just wanted to just sit down in this astral world. Like even though
Sorry. Go on.
even though like he was in an astral form, he says that immediately he felt like super tired. So he says that, why am I here?
Okay, go on.
When I was a kid,
Don't say
when I was a kid, one time I was running and I stopped short and then a car went by. I'm beginning to think like, you know what? You should have just fucking kept running. Anyway, so
all I keep thinking is that is the fastest quickie he's ever. Sorry. Okay, go on. Mine's out of the gutter. Bringing it back. Okay,
you need to relax.
that was funny.
This
I'm
was an
sorry.
educational show.
Chill now. Go on.
So this person was immediately exhausted, right? And it just
Hmm.
wanted to, and it's strange because he's like, even though I wasn't in my physical body, like I wanted to literally just curl up like into a ball, you know, as this thing still has like his hand like directly on him. Then something inside of him told him, like, you need to get back, you know, you need to get back. So immediately like runs and then makes contact with his own body, snaps out of it, like wakes up, like what the fuck, but then felt like really sick, like after he gets up, like started vomiting, and everything. And he said that again, people don't learn. A couple days later,
No.
back to that old thing, and that thing's
He
like,
went to the same thing?
so yeah, going back, this thing,
What an idiot.
come back, please, I need you, you know, it's a quarter after one. I'm a little drunk and I
I'm
need
sure it
you.
does.
So, so anyway, so
Oh
then,
no.
this person ended up telling like one of his family members, like, oh, this is what, and I guess that this older individual kind of was like more in tune. It's like, yeah, you were basically allowing this thing. The reason why you felt so sick is because number one,
Was I right?
what? Well, okay. So number one, this thing was not human, right? And number two, this thing was draining your life force.
I
You
was
know,
kind of right.
well, so it's like this thing was draining your life force. So
Oh, jeez.
so it gets a
So,
it gets a little weirder.
oh, there's
So
more?
there's more. There's the voice, by the way, was male. You know, so then
Oh,
again, now it's a female voice. Like, you should meet me. Like, come meet me. And he's like, how do I meet you? Like,
he gets around.
Astral. Yeah, what a spiritual whore. So
Should put a sticker on him.
so then immediately, yeah, slut, um, spirit slut. So immediately this person, got rid of the box, never did it again. But what's interesting is that, okay, so when the male voice didn't work, it was now a seductive voice, like a female, like, I want to meet you. You should come. So
Succubus.
yeah, so I wonder if this thing, and for those of you that are like, oh man, succubuses, they're so hot. I can't believe su-
No, they're not.
a succubus is neither male nor female. you know,
No.
so just think about it when you have that thing with horns just riding you. That's also a guy. So
Oh,
anyway,
God.
so anyway, so it's just one of those things where it was draining his life force just by putting his hands on him, like draining his life force.
Which
That's
is
why he,
pretty wild, but I feel like most demonic things can do that, though. Like, if you think about it,
yeah, they can do that, but it's just so interesting that, like, why the astral plane?
because your body is easily accessible. You're not guarding your body so much. Your soul has left. Your body is basically that empty vessel that anything can get to at that point. So why not?
Yeah, I guess you're right. You know,
Yeah,
and it's probably like easy access, kind of like something that's demonic will very slowly, like gradually
exactly.
fester and do all these things. This is more like a quick fix. Like, I
Hmm.
need energy and I want it now. How I can trick this dumbass into giving me access. You know what I mean? And then
That's pretty much what it is,
and,
though.
and that's what it was, because again, when the guy's voice didn't work anymore, now it changed. Now it's a girl.
Hmm.
Now it's like, hey, sexy
It's
voice.
changing to try and get him to come here. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, let's go.
So I'm wondering if all of the ones when you're in the astral plane that are trying to lead you somewhere, I wonder if those are all the more demonic ones that are trying to do possessions on people. They're trying to get to people's bodies.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, because someone that I know had this idea that one of the quickest way to possess somebody demonically is basically the astral plane, because it's easier.
Yeah,
It's the easy
it is
access.
easy.
It's the lonely fat dude just happens to be on a road that just happens to be on a road full of hookers. You
Oh
know,
no,
and then he's kind of like,
he just doesn't know what to do.
this is the easiest way for me to get something quick.
Oh God.
It So that's it, guys. That was today's
Yeah.
episode
Finishing off from last
from
week
last week.
because you
So
guys, we got ditched last week, but it's fine.
it's fine. So,
It's
anyways, guys, I hope you
fine.
guys enjoyed this episode. Remember to like and subscribe, share the show. I have
Yeah,
new merch out there, so
it's
check it
true. I
out.
still have to post another one. I'm sorry. I'm a
Yeah,
little lazy.
yeah, intoxicated.
I'm
So,
fired at that too.
so, jeez. So, don't forget to check out Sean Burris over at Shadow Nation. Big stuff coming. Invite him on,
Yeah,
Sean Burris. Anyway, so so yeah, so go ahead and do all those things. So remember, guys,
yeah.
I almost did the outro of one of my very first shows that was like around
Did
like
you
when we.
really do
Yep.
it for old time's sake?
Okay.
Just to make you nostalgic for a minute.
Remember, guys, that if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
That was your old
Hmm.
outro. Okay, let's do ours now. That does not go with our show in any way, shape, or form.
Remember, guys, that just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. Oh, that's another one. Damn it. All right, here we go. Here's ours. Remember, guys, to always look both ways, especially if you find yourselves on Nightmare Road.
Bye. Do I need? I'm guessing yes.